Ojama archetype, originally used by Chaz Princeton in the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX anime, started out as 3 hideous bikini-clad normal monsters, which were Ojama Green, Ojama Black, and Ojama Yellow. Each of these possessed a whopping 0 attack points, and their flavor text read, "Each is one of the Ojama trio. It's said that they butt in by any means necessary. It's also said that when the 3 are together, something happens." In the show, Chaz first received these cards on his spiritual journey to become a better duelist, after his crushing defeat against Jaden.
Gotcha! 楽しいデュエルだったぜ!
The disguised North Academy Chancellor sabotaged his original deck, forcing Chaz to build a new one. Ojama Yellow was Chaz's first new card, and much to Chaz's displeasure, Ojama Yellow would become his spirit partner. Ojama Green and Ojama Black would follow suit a little bit later. In the real world, the Ojama cards made their debut in the 2003 pack Dark Crisis, with Ojama Green and the Trap Ojama Trio. Ojama Yellow, Ojama Black, and Ojama Delta Hurricane would release a little bit later in 2004's Invasion of Chaos. The final card, Ojama King, came out slightly later that same year in Soul of the Duelists. The idea behind an Ojama deck is that with just these cards that I've released, you could basically ruin your opponent's day. This is because the way these cards work is that you can clog your opponent's field to stop them from playing, or at the very least, limiting their ability to swarm the field. This is alluded to by their name of Ojama, which comes from the Japanese phrase Ojamashi Mas, which means sorry for the intrusion. You've probably heard this phrase in every slice of life anime that you've watched. Every time someone goes around someone else's house, they're most likely saying this.
お待たせ。もう大丈夫。
はい。お邪魔します。
どうぞ。
And honestly, this is the perfect way to describe the Ojamas, since they literally intrude on the opponent's field in some way, shape, or form. For instance, with Ojama Delta Hurricane, as promised from the original's card description, while all 3 are on the field together, by playing this card, you can obliterate every single card your opponent controls. Now, with a clean slate, you can begin to invade. By playing Ojama Trio, you can summon 3 Ojama tokens to the opponent's field that cannot be tributed for a tribute summon and deal 300 damage whenever one is destroyed. As well, by fusing the 3 Ojamas together, you can make Ojama King, which clogs up to 3 of the opponent's main monster zones from being played into. With these 2 working together, that's the opponent's ability to summon completely shut down. Now, obviously, back in the day, giving your opponent tokens that they can't tribute for a tribute summon, that's pretty good. How are you going to get rid of those monsters with difficulty? In the modern day, what are you going to do? You're just going to use them as link materials. So they're not as good as they used to be. So it's just one of those. So I guess it would be nice if we had another way of clogging up the opponent's field. We've got that Ojama King filling up 3 zones, but we don't want to get another Ojama King. It seems like a waste. Well, that's where the new support came in. Ojama Knights. This guy only needed 2 Ojamas to be summoned. And because of this, it only clogs up 2 of the opponent's zones, which is perfect. So now with Ojama King and Ojama Knights, we can block them all up. Sorry about this. I've literally crushed both my fingers trying to clean, believe it or not. So yes, with Ojama King and Ojama Knight on their field, the opponent can't summon any new monsters for the rest of this duel until they deal with these 2 monsters. Alternatively, if you want to go down the token route, Ojama Trio, which puts 3 tokens on the board. If you want to get rid of the other 2 spaces, with Ojama Duo, it works in the same way. Duo summons 2 tokens to the field and deals 300 damage whenever they are destroyed. And as a bonus, during either player's turn, except the turn this card was sent to the grave, you can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon 2 Ojama monsters with different names from your deck. Meaning you can also intrude on your opponent's field with just these 2 cards together. But again, link monsters will probably ruin your day. So, the next big question becomes, well, it's all well and good stopping my opponent from playing, but how am I supposed to win with 0 attack point monsters? Well, that's where the rest of the support comes in. Starting with the field spell, Ojama Country. Once per turn, you can send 1 Ojama card from your hand to the graveyard, special summon 1 Ojama monster from your grave. While you control an Ojama monster, switch the original attack and defense of all monsters on the field. With this card, your monsters go from defensive to offensive in the blink of an eye, while your opponent's monster's stats all get jumbled up. In fact, if we look at this card's artwork a little bit closely, we see a bunch of other Ojamas. Now, most of them are dead, unfortunately, as confirmed in the artwork of the honorary Ojama card, Solidarity, which shows the bones of many dead Ojamas. What the hell did these guys do to them? However, despite the high death toll, some of them made it out of that village alive. These were Ojama Blue, whose effect is when this card is destroyed by a battle and sent to the grave, you can add 2 Ojama cards from your deck to your hand. Ojama Red, when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon up to 4 Ojama monsters from your hand in attack position. What's fun about these 2 monsters is, while Ojama Black, Yellow, and Green are part of a trio, Ojama Red and Ojama Blue are part of a duo. I like that all these Ojamas have friends, but the thing is, we've got a trio, a duo. There's got to be one, the loneliest number of them all, and there is. And that is Ojama Pink. Seemingly with no buddies. If this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you can activate this effect. Each player draws 1 card, then each player discards 1 card. Then, if you discarded an Ojama card, you can choose 1 opponent's unused monster zone, and it can be used until the end of your opponent's turn. Finally, we have the one and only link monster of the archetype, Ojama Emperor. Requires 3 beast monsters, including an Ojama monster, to be summoned. While Ojama Country is in a field zone, this card gains 3000 attack. Also, it cannot be destroyed by card effects. Your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken from attacks on this card instead. You can target 1 non-link Ojama monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Also, for the rest of this turn, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except fusion monsters. So already, with just the field spell and all these new monsters, we can go on the offensive and really easily swarm the field. But we're not done. We also have spells and traps like Ojama Magic. If this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, add 1 each of Ojama Green, Ojama Yellow, and Ojama Black from your deck to your hand. When I tell you, you can have some absolutely insane hands because of this card, I'm not joking. Ojama Muscle, select 1 face-up Ojama King, destroy all Ojama monsters on the field except the selected Ojama King. It gains 1000 attack for each monster destroyed this way. Lastly, it's worth noting that Chaz went on quite a journey in terms of the decks he used. He started with Chiffonian, and then he moved on to his VWXYZ deck, and then his Armed Dragon deck. These were his most iconic decks, and then he got the Ojama cards. They sort of assimilated the Ojamas into these 2 decks, creating a Ojama Armed Dragon deck, an Ojama VWXYZ deck, and then eventually an Ojama VWXYZ Armed Dragon deck. And guess what? We have cards to support both in this archetype. Ojama Simulation works with the VWXYZ cards. Its effect is you can reveal 1 Light Machine fusion monster from your extra deck, and banish any number of Ojama monsters from your hand, face up in your field and or graveyard, special summon fusion materials with different names whose names are specifically listed on the card you revealed from your hand, deck and or grave, equal to the number of monsters banished to activate this effect. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target 3 of your banished Ojama monsters, shuffle them into the deck, and then draw 1 card. Ojama Match works with the Armed Dragon cards. Send 1 Ojama card from your hand or face it from your field to the grave. Add to your hand 1 Ojama monster with a different name and 1 Armed Dragon monster from your deck and or grave. Then, immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon 1 of those monsters. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target 3 of your banished Ojama monsters, shuffle them into the deck, and then draw 1 card. Finally, Ojama Pajama works with both of the archetypes. If an Armed Dragon monster and or a Light Machine fusion monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish 1 Ojama card from your hand, face up from your field or graveyard instead. During the main phase, you can add 1 Ojama card from your deck to your hand, then discard 1 card. If this card is sent to the grave, you can special summon as many of your banished Ojama monsters as possible. Will the Ojamas get more support? Well, we have cards like Ojama Mandala, which is an anime Ojama card that has actually appeared in a video game. However, we have a whole Mecha Ojama line of Ojama cards to go through someday. But with that, that's the Ojama archetype done. Check out this video if you fancy. Check out this one if you really do. If not, buy some of the merch if you fancy, or just subscribe. It's completely up to you. But other than that, thank you all for watching. Catch you later. My fingers are killing me.